Froze but me?
There we go. No, we're good now. I don't know why it was taking forever to start recording, but StreamYard's been weird lately. I don't know. But yeah, we're good to go. Although now you're frozen, Chuck. Oh boy.
I don't think he is frozen. Is he? Again.
No, he's frozen. All right, everybody. I'm going to start it since Chuck is frozen. There he is. Hey,
oh, there we go.
You were doing good before that.
Am I back? There we go.
We're back.
Real quick, if I can ask the question, just because it's been plaguing me all day, write it in the comments if you're watching the video. Hypothetically speaking, if a corpse comes in and died of natural
what?
Is heart?
We got nothing for you, dude. You are bye. Ladies and squirrels and gentlemen and girls and stuff, here we are with the rundown reviews presented by the Comic Book Rundown. Today we are covering Star Wars A New Hope. And there we go. There's an introduction.
There we go.
A minute and 20 seconds into the podcast.
Well, I mean, that's actually a record for us because usually all the other thing I've been doing, I've been noticing like we bullshit immediately in the beginning, and then eventually we'll get to the part of
that's
the
true.
movie we're actually watching.
We did pre-show chat before you hit record this time.
We tried to.
The voices that you're hearing would be Joey.
Hello.
We've got Chuck was here. We've got Jordan, and obviously me. What's that?
This is where the fun begins.
This is the black robot thing with a needle arm.
Yeah,
I believe that's a VT-16, isn't it?
Is that what it is? That thing scared me so much as a kid. I don't know why. I hated that robot when I was younger.
Oh no, that's that. Because they're creepy looking and they stab you with needles. I mean,
and it's one of those things where it's used to torture Leia, and she's the heroine in this movie. So you're naturally like, oh no, like. That's bad. This is scary.
I think it was more the fact that I'm like, this universe has a robot that's specific design is only to torture people.
Sure.
That's crazy.
Hi, Chuck.
Nope, he's froze again.
All right, bye, Chuck. Hey, if you can hear us, why don't you use your phone?
Still frozen.
Again?
I am using my phone. I just switched to it.
That's not great. Okay.
I heard that.
Maybe that'll work. Okay. It might be.
I can hear you now.
Anyway, well, that's good. Anyway, my question originally was, if a body comes into a place and it died of natural or accidental causes or natural causes, and the people are able to harvest the organs, but there was not written permission that they could harvest the organs, is that a victimless crime? So we watched A New Hope.
So you're saying they're not an organ donor, but that is
they're not.
Legally, they are a forced organ donor.
Yeah,
right. They're not. They have not volunteered to be an organ donor.
Then back in the 1800s when they had grave robbers.
Yeah, but if they died of natural causes, I mean, are they really needing those organs? Are they going to miss?
See, that's my thing exactly. Like realistically, if you are dead, they're not doing you any good. Give them to people who can use them.
I'm definitely
this whole preserving your body because you need it to decompose altogether, or it's fucking dumb.
But they sell it on the black market. They're selling it on the black market. The reason why is while I was watching A New Hope, my mom was watching Bones, and this was one of the premises to it, and I would this was the premise of the episode, and I was just like, I don't think that's a bad thing. There's no victims involved in this. The guy who does the autopsy was when the bodies were coming in still fresh that they could harvest the organs, they were harvesting them and selling them on the black market.
The only way
hey, you know what you call that? You call that an entrepreneur, okay? That guy was out there making a difference. He was helping people, making money. This is the true tier form of capitalism right there.
Side hustle all the way. I mean,
victimless crime.
It's only a crime of a victim if that organ was actually going to be used for someone who's been on a waiting list. I don't know. That's if they weren't an organ donor, then it wasn't.
Or if the person was still alive when you took the organs, in which case, it might be a crime.
They might not be happy.
That's true. That's true. Anyway, we watched A New Hope, Brothers, Sisters, Gender Resistors. Welcome. This is, of course.
I did that.
All right. Well, I wasn't here. So
Don't worry, we included you in it. So
we did actually. Yeah.
Can't wait to hear that in a month. All right.
But yeah, so we watched Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope from 1977. Obviously, we've all seen this movie before.
Yeah.
What's your count? What's the body count for this movie?
Oh, just jumping
already
to it. He wants to know.
No.
How many times have we watched? How many times have we watched?
How many times have you had intercourse to this movie? Is what I'm asking.
See,
nobody else wants to fuck when this is on. Just me.
My girlfriend loves Star Wars.
I'd say Emily would be all about jumping Joey's bones during this.
It's been a couple handfuls, yeah.
Her favorite thing is she wants him to walk in the room, slam the door, and say, "There's no escape for the princess this time."
I walk in and say hello there, and
that's just a universal sign to know what to do. I just
if my partner doesn't start saying to me "down the chute, flyboy," right as I'm getting ready to come, I don't really know what the point of having sex is anymore. So.
Hold on a second. I gotta send a text real quick.
Yes. Jeez. Oh man.
Yeah.
So okay. Obviously, we've all seen this movie. It's a classic.
How many times have you seen it?
I've seen this movie. I don't know. A lot. I watch this movie almost at least once a year because it's Star Wars, and I usually have some Star Wars thing going on. Plus, back when I actually had cable, TNT ran the Star Wars marathon literally all the time.
Still does.
Well, I don't have cable anymore. So
I watch it at the gym in 30-minute bursts when it's
the best way to watch something.
Bank holiday, yeah.
So it's one of those things where I've seen it so many times that I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to actually watch it today and just have to go by memory. But I made time today. I found time, so
nice.
It was nice.
I have seen it.
What about you guys?
Okay, so specifically this version of it, which is the stupid adapted version that has all the extra computer generated shit.
The 1999 special edition.
The special edition I've only seen.
It's the 2005 special edition, I think.
It's actually this is the 2019 special edition with the
this is the
Disney Plus edition too.
Oh, I didn't watch it on Disney Plus.
Oh, okay.
I have the special edition when they first released it on DVD after the prequels.
Yes.
Where they added in all these extra scenes of CGI'd banthas and the plane or the fighters and stuff come.
Oh, so those are in the 99. That was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure that's where these came in. Was after the prequels. These ones I have only seen 4 times. The old one I have seen probably 10 to 15 times at least.
Mm.
I still have. I think I talked about this last week. I still have the DVD of the original. And I might need to borrow that sometime just to wipe this out of my. I thought about after watching it popping in the DVD to watch the original, but I again ran out of time.
Well, it was Simon's first time watching, and
really,
yeah, he had never had any interest, and he really wasn't paying attention this time. But I had to keep pointing out, okay, this wasn't because I was this wasn't originally in it. This wasn't originally in it because it's it looks like garbage, and the CGI stuff
and everything. The dewbacks are awful.
Yeah, and I told Simon, I was like, the only thing that's in here that's original CGI stuff are the blasters and the lightsabers. Because I also had to explain to him how they map the lightsabers on there, and that's why the lightsaber battles suck compared to the newer ones.
I wouldn't say suck. When this was originally made, the fight choreographer, which I can't remember his name, he had taught Alec Guinness and David Prowse. Thank you. The actor in Darth Vader's suit, how to fight in more fencing style.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he thought this was going to be. That's what apparently. I looked at a little bit of the IMDb because I knew there was going to be a shit ton, so I didn't actually want to go down that rabbit hole. But what was going with it? Nope, lost my train of thought.
They were taught fencing.
Lightsaber fencing.
They did it like broadswords. Wasn't that the change in like their choreography style?
Maybe.
All I know is that you can definitely tell the mapping is there, especially when they're being ignited and deignited.
Yeah,
disignited.
You get like that little like blip in the screen.
Yeah, it's almost like, they're like, all right, do the thing now, stand there, don't move, switch it out, then keep filming, and they just
I always notice that whenever they would open up a door.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yes, because they have to push the button, and then it takes there's like a millisecond before anything happens, and you're like, what is going on? They have to be really still while the door is moving. Except for the door going into the conference room, which was a practical door. When I forget the one general's name who comes in to talk to Tarkin, that's a practical door. It doesn't do the whoosh thing like the other doors do.
Very nice. Jordan, how many times have you seen this movie?
Okay, so people are going to hate me in the sense of this. Okay, so
3 times. Gotcha.
The original version, pre-1999, I've seen once in my life. I own it. Wow. I have it once. The 99 version, over 100 times, because I got the special edition VHSs and I watched it every weekend for 3 years.
I keep forgetting you're like 2 decades younger than us.
I'm 35. I'm not that much younger than you guys. So
yeah, he's only 5 years younger than me.
My first introduction to this. So this is how this worked. I saw the 99 special edition in theaters, and I thought it was a brand new movie. And I was like, this is amazing. I can't wait. What was it, like a month later, Empire came out, and then a month later, Return came out. It's like, I can't wait. And my next door neighbor's dad said, I have them all on VHS already. I'm like, how do you have? It blew my mind. I didn't understand the concept that like these movies were pre-released 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So then I watched all 3 of them that day at their house, the originals. That's the only time I've seen the originals. And then all the 99 ones on from there. I've only seen the McClunky version. This is the first time I've seen McClunky version. So I don't know what McClunky is supposed to mean, but whatever.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows what that's supposed to mean.
Yeah.
It showed up and everybody's like, what the hell?
I thought the whole point of them putting McClunky in was that they were going to fix the Han shot first thing and being like, oh, the thing that makes him know to shoot is that the dude said McClunky. Like that means like, I'm going to kill you or something. And then like he shoots him first.
Well, that's the funny thing though, because I always watch everything with subtitles, and when he says McClunky, nothing is there. The rest of Greedo's speech is all written out, but McClunky, just McClunky.
It makes no sense. But anyway, yeah, I've seen the 99 special edition or 98 or whenever it came out over 100 times easily.
Nice. Chuckles?
All right. So for me, this is a astronomical number. But I have watched this movie 10 times collectively.
That's actually a lot for you.
That's very good.
Yeah, since I was like 8 years old. The only 10 and above group, there are 3. It's the Star Wars original trilogy, because I always watched all 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Toy Story.
Random.
Watched that much. Yeah, I loved Toy Story as a kid. And Men in Black. Those are like the 3. Yeah, so...
I was always a bigger fan of A Bug's Life, but
when I was
it wasn't
kid,
out yet.
Well, yes, that too. But because Toy Story came out in like 93 or 94.
Yeah,
mid-90s, somewhere there.
So like when I was in like 95, I was sick from home and from school, and I didn't want to get off the couch, so I had put Toy Story in the VHS, and instead of taking the movie out and putting something else in, I just rewound it and then just watched it again. I think I watched it like 3 or 4 times in one day, just because I didn't want to get off the couch.
Toy Story and Men in Black were like 2 movies that I watched every day one summer when I didn't have a baby. Like I was old enough to not have a babysitter, so I could just do whatever I wanted to. And so I would just stay home and watch Toy Story every day, and then I'd watch Men in Black like the next summer every day. Those were like my 2 movies. It was weird.
It's funny because I just watched Toy Story 2 weeks ago, and it's been like at least 3 or 4 years since I've seen it. It's such a good movie.
It's still good.
Yeah, it's still good.
Yeah. As somebody who is an avid toy collector, that's all I ever wanted was my toys to like come to life, so I could play with them like when they were alive. It's cool.
Well,
anyway,
that's fun. Okay.
Anywho,
but I will say this is the first time I've ever. So I've never seen the original cut. So to me, Greedo always shot first, and I never knew what Han shot first actually meant.
Mm-hmm.
This is also the first time I've ever seen the super Disneyized, like cleaned up version.
Oh, like Blu-ray 4K thing.
Yeah, because there are things that they added in addition to the special edition where they added a bunch of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
One of them being is they fix Han in the Greedo shooting him scene.
You say fixed?
Yeah.
I mean,
so this is how I remember it.
It still happens.
Right. So he moves. He still moves. But I remember it being Gumby level, like bendy neck, like just like that. And in this, it's just like he just slides just a little bit, and I was just like, I was ready for like to laugh at the like egregious like 3D like head rendering Gumby like everybody's rubber in the 2000s special effects. And like I didn't get that. It was just like they just like slid him. He did like an electric slide to the side and then back. It was weird.
Yeah, but it was like it was his neck and head, but the rest of his body didn't move. So
his hips don't lie, man. They just stay in place.
But like his shoulders stayed, and it was weird.
It's so quick though; it's hard to like really catch it. It's just like
a blink. But if you know it's there, which we all know it's there.
Yeah,
I was looking directly at it.
You know, it's interesting what you say about like this being cleaned up, because one thing that I'm not. The last time I watched this movie actually was probably right before Rise of Skywalker, when I was still living in California. The apartment complex that I lived in had a theater that you could rent out if you were living there. And it was like, you just be like, hey, yeah. So the 12 months leading up to Rise of Skywalker, we watched once a month. I had all my friends over and we rented out the movie theater and we watched every single Star Wars film leading up to it. And that was the last time I watched it. And on the theater screen, even though it was a Blu-ray, I still remember it looking like good and everything. But what I realized is this 4K high definition on a 4K television, I used to think that like, oh man, all the stuff looks so clean. The Imperial, like the Star Destroyers and the Death Stars, everything looks so clean and sleek and futuristic. And I watch it now, I'm like, there are scuff marks everywhere. There are fingerprints everywhere. This does not look like how clean it looks on, and they make it look clean now, like in the TV shows and newer movies and stuff. It's cleaned up because a lot of it's like not really practical, and the practical stuff's a little bit built better than what they had in 77 and all that. But now I watch it and I go, oh, I need it a little, the resolution just dumbed down a bit. Like it's too clean now.
Well, and I was watching it, and the scene when they come into Mos Eisley, which is all CGI. You got those little critters running around. You've got all of the
so much CGI.
Everybody,
and it looks like garbage.
Bad, yeah. And I don't know if because I was talking with Emily about that, and she was saying that because I'm watching this on a brand new TV. I don't think it's 4K. I could be. It might be. I don't remember. We got it from my dad, and I inherited it when he passed. So I don't remember what it is.
Kind of like Luke's lightsaber.
Yeah.
Both have the same street value.
Yeah. But it looked like the ships looked kind of like all of these special edition stuff looked bad. In my opinion.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly.
It's not. It was a fine addition when we were working off of VHSs, right?
Yes.
It was fine.
Even the first DVDs, because again, the TVs back then still weren't great.
420 was like the first DVDs and stuff. Like it was fine. It wasn't scalable. It just wasn't meant to go past. And Lucas should have foreseen that, because he was the one wanting to be on the cutting edge of digital. He should have foreseen that, like at a certain point, your film is going to get too clean for this CGI.
But like you said, this is the one on Disney Plus is the Disney re-rendering.
Yes.
So
you're
Lucas
right. So
doesn't care. Like he's already sold it. He sold everything off in 14 or 13.
But I just mean for the fact of his art.
Before, yeah.
If he even cares, I don't know. Does Lucas care about that? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Oh man, I have a question for you guys about this. So starting off, we're literally the last movie we watched was Rogue One, and this movie literally that they're right into each other, right? How does Vader catch up to Tantive 4? Like, because doesn't the Tantive 4 go into hyperspace and we see Darth Vader back on his ship or on whatever ship, and then like, how do they track them? Like, how does he catch up to them? Because I thought you couldn't track people in hyperspace until later, way later on.
But no, that's the thing, because they actually had that technology at that time. If you remember, when Jin is reading out all of the stuff, I can't remember exactly what it was,
but
there's something on there.
They didn't use it until like 40 years later.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Maybe they did use it from time to time, but they just didn't overuse it.
Well, they knew it was her ship.
Yes,
yes,
they did. Yes,
and they knew that she was going to be going probably back home.
But they weren't anywhere near Alderaan. They were in Tatooine.
Yeah, I thought that they flew out away from her home. Hold that thought, guys.
Do we have to? Anyway.
No, I'll be right back.
Oh, okay, that's not good. So what you're saying is it is a good question, because they did jump away. So they had to have come out of lightspeed hyperspace somewhere. Maybe they just jumped to where, like, they're just trying to get away. So they didn't actually have a course plotted to Alderaan. They just they went to the first open hyperspace lane that they could grab.
Sure. And that's the thing there. Hyperspace lanes, if they could have just sent everyone off into every direction and tried to find them, I don't know.
Right there.
Maybe. But don't we know that they actually can track them through hyperspace?
So we find that out in Last Jedi. Wait, really?
No, we don't see it in Solo.
Aren't they getting chased and they're like jumping in and out of hyperspace?
No, that's the Rise of Skywalker, I thought.
Yeah, it's the beginning of Rise.
When they're doing the Kessel Run.
They're in the they're not.
Oh, that's not hyperspace. That's that's an actual the maw or whatever.
Yeah, there we go. The maw.
Like it's a big old galaxy maw.
I swear they were like jumping in and out.
No, they had to jump to hyperspace to get out of the black hole thing. No, they jump in and out of hyperspace. In
Rise is the only one, because they were using it as a method to try and. So they were getting tracked in. No, they were tracked in Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And then
because that's when we found out they had the technology to do that, was Last Jedi.
Which is why Finn and Rose went onto the ship to try and take it down. That was
so they could all jump away without getting caught. The other thing I thought is maybe Darth Vader is a bit of a wayfinder, High Republic kind of stuff or Thrawn kind of stuff. The Chiss, they were wayfinders. They can use the Force to kind of feel out hyperspace lanes and all of that. I don't know. But yeah, other than possibly there being them putting a beacon on board. I don't know. Maybe they could track the little, what do you call that? The plans, maybe.
Maybe, but I don't know. It's weird. That's a good question.
I think you're trying to place too much scientific logic into a non-logical.
Yeah, you're right.
Emily tells me that all the time.
You have to remember this is like what,
space magic.
77?
50 years removed from when we got Rogue One. Yeah, you're right.
But no, not only that, but like nobody was thinking about this.
I know.
Like famously, Harrison Ford gets in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon and goes to George Lucas and says, like, "Hey, so how do I fly this thing? Like, if I was going to fly, how do I fly it?" He's like, "I don't know. Do you just hit buttons and flip?" Like, Harrison Ford was asking questions that George Lucas probably should have had some idea to, but George didn't care about telling that story. George didn't care about putting that shit in there. He just wanted his brother and sister to kiss. That's all he wants.
Exactly. He just wanted to live that fantasy.
Yeah, he just wanted that.
Kiss on the cheek, on the cheek.
In this one,
in the next one, we'll talk about that there.
Full on tongue.
So I thought it was interesting too at the beginning. I didn't remember this, that we learned that R2D2 and C3PO were Wedge Antilles droids before.
Yeah.
No, Captain Antilles.
That's not Wedge?
Nope, that's not Wedge. Wedge, and I can't remember the captain's first name. I don't know if they are actually related. I guarantee there's probably not a lot of Antilles on Alderaan, but no, Captain Antilles, the one that Vader chokes out, and then Wedge at the very end is
I didn't know that.
But here's the question: how did they go from being?
But they're not the captains. They are still
They're just part of the ship, I feel like, because the Tantive 4 was probably on Yavin when we saw them in Rogue One. and they were a part of Captain Antilles' crew. And then we see them once they go into battle.
But that's the thing. Didn't Obi-Wan in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show give R2 to Leia?
Yeah, but there's also
because he didn't have R2
years.
Yes, he did.
In the show?
Yeah.
It's been a minute since I've seen the show. I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, because R2 is like buried out in front of his house.
No. Because Bail at the end of Revenge of the Sith he has them. He's the one holding them. Well, but he has them, and he tells Captain Antilles to wipe C-3PO's mind.
Yes. I think Chuck's laughing at us because we finally got to the movies where I'm going to bring up every loose thread that I want an answer to.
This whole movie is a fucking loose thread because they retconned everything.
That's the thing. Is like, you know what this movie is a representation of? How fucking terrible capitalism is, because they make these 3 movies and then they go to make prequels to them and they're like, okay, but we have to incorporate these characters so we can sell toys. That's why C-3PO is in there. That's why R2-D2 is in there.
Yeah.
I will say this, watching this again, I'm starting to kind of like C-3PO when you look at him as kind of like a sarcastic dick the entire time.
And because we're watching it from his apparent first or his origin all the way through. Like, this is him and R2 are the only characters that we'll see in every single movie.
Yeah, they're like kind of the comic relief. Like, at this point, I'm just like R2's a dick, and I forgot how much of a dick he is. Like, I know he is a dick. Like, that's the whole point. But like, I kind of like rewatching all these, I kind of feel for C-3PO now. It's just like, dude, that dude,
this dude
literally can't get rid of this droid, but initially loves him and cares for the friendship because he makes sure that he's safe the entire time, despite the fact that whatever reason R2 has this protocol, like code of honor that he has to fulfill the mission, which is like ridiculous.
He just wanted to see Obi-Wan Kenobi again.
Yeah, R2-D2 is a narcissist. That's really what we've learned in this.
Yeah.
Also, C-3PO and R2-D2, is it just Penn and Teller?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
For those of you who are young, that's a reference.
But like,
I'll say
rewatching this, though. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, rewatching this, I forgot kind of how important C-3PO is, because he is literally doing all of the dialogue. This story is kind of told from C-3PO's point of view of like telling everybody what everyone is saying, because nobody understands any other language. Especially that everybody lives near each other.
Yeah, R2-D2 was supposed to be speaking English in the original, so that's why like he was supposed to be speaking vulgarities too, which is why they kept C-3PO's responses and then they just changed it to beeps and boops instead. But so we know that R2-D2's got a potty mouth.
Yeah. And Chewbacca was supposed to be speaking English as well.
I
think we've all seen the behind the scenes stuff of Peter Mayhew talking. Yeah. So like, that was first time I saw that. I'm like, oh wow, that's interesting.
Weird.
Huh.
It makes it so much better though that they actually had real dialogue that they were going off of.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
So we're talking about C-3PO, and C-3PO mentions the spice mines of Kessel, so we can assume that Jesus Christ, I can't think of his name now. The droid that they had in Solo,
L37, L73.
There we go. Yeah,
L337. Leap.
Yeah. We can assume that the takeover the mines, the rebellion there didn't go well then, since it's still.
But it never goes well. Like, I mean, that a robot uprising or even just a little bit of rebellion works well in the initial happenings, but the overlords will just come in with all of their hired guns and just take everything back over. That's just what they do.
What we learned in Star Wars is the Rebel Alliance takes over the Empire just to put it right back in place. Maybe the droids did win, and they're like, "Yeah, let's just put the people back in place," because no one in Star Wars has an original idea.
Because that's the only way they know how it works.
Yeah, bureaucracy is all they know how to do in this.
Kinda, yeah. We'll see that when we get to Rise, or what's that? Force Awakens. Thank you. All right, so I mentioned this few episodes back, and by few I mean like funny.
About Leia not wearing a bra?
No, not that. It's actually hilarious.
So that is because, George Lucas was like, oh, by the way, bras don't exist in outer space. So thanks for taking that one for us, Luke, because that was a great addition to the show.
No, I mentioned way back when that stormtroopers are actually a good shot. And now I'm going to defend why I said that.
With your theory, though, I totally understand where you're coming from, because all the bad shooting happens in the Death Star, where they were probably, like you said, instructed not to actually hurt them and let them go.
Because they need to find where the rebel base was at.
Yeah.
If we see them,
except when they are taking over Leia's ship in the beginning, the stormtroopers that are in the front don't shoot. It's the ones behind them that are shooting. They're just walking through the bodies. Like, blaster bolts never come from their guns.
Yeah, they're the wall, because those two are the only two stormtroopers that get killed. Every other death in there is the Rebel Alliance guys.
So I heard a theory that not a single stormtrooper actually dies in this. Okay. The reason being that okay, let me rephrase that. That from blaster fire, not one stormtrooper actually dies. That the armor actually does what it's supposed to do, which is prevent the laser from getting through. But the concussive force is actually what knocks them out. So that's why they fall over and they're injured. But if you look at the armor, there is no bullet hole wound where the laser would be. Because the laser would go right directly through them. Now, I have a theory that they're actually Power Rangers, and here's why. Because because they made it canon that Power Rangers always have a force field around them, and that's why the explosions happen when they get hit by like things in the like television show. That would explain.
Wasn't just because it was a cheap way to do
blood. Yeah, exactly. That is why there's an explosion when it hits the armor. It's because they got a force field around them at all times. That's what those like the little things on the back of the suit look like.
I mean, realistically, they have force fields for everything in this. Why did they never make a personal force field?
I think they do. I think just like an actual bulletproof vest, it is designed simply to stop the bullet, but you're still going to feel the concussive force. Having
like a bulletproof vest,
and shot, it's like you get knocked on your ass still.
Do we ever find out where they manufacture clone and stormtrooper armor, and why doesn't everyone just wear it then?
See, I thought the clone armor was made there on Camino.
It was
stormtrooper armor because at that time Camino is already gone. If you
have to remember they're going from like a republic, right, to an empire. We got to cut costs somehow. So then they're going to find the cheapest, planet that has like child labor that can produce the armor for a fraction of the price. It doesn't got to keep them. It doesn't have to keep them up and moving. It just has to make sure that it doesn't kill them. That's all it needs to do.
Is that the direct slogan you just heard from Boeing CEO?
Pretty much,
yeah, basically.
As long as they're not dead, that's all that matters.
Kill them,
and even then, just take the armor off and give it to the next schlub. You know what I mean? Because that's all they are. They're just a meat. They're just a meat grinder.
But they also have so many that, honestly, if they were to get killed off, I don't think the Empire would be, at a loss. So
this is where I think, Joe, you need to defend yourself, not in this movie, but in Empire Strikes Back, because that's when we're going to start seeing whether or not these stormtroopers are as accurate as you're saying they are. Because now, it makes sense in your theory, but like if it continues on, and I don't remember, but if it continues on like Endor and Hoth and all that,
Endor, they are bad shots. Like, but I think specifically, people always hear the line that Obi-Wan says, stormtroopers are excellent shots, and
their blaster fire is more precise than Tusken Raiders.
That's what it is. So
no, he says they're more precise than Tusken Raiders, which is like being able to throw a baseball better than a 4-year-old.
That's true.
I mean,
listen, I love Tusken Raiders like
you
a lot.
You
because I
would.
unbelievably terrified of them as when I first watched this movie when I was 8 years old. I had to stop watching this movie for a minute because they terrified me. The walrus growl. Oh my god, terrifying.
I'm not going to do it for you guys, but my signature in high school was the Tusken Raider call. I would do it all.
No, we need to hear it now. You can't just say that shit and not.
It's too loud for in this house. It's too loud.
We'll hear it from the speakers, so it's fine.
You could also say that. I mean, you could also say Tusken Raiders actually are good shots because they were shooting pod racers back in episode 1. Those things are moving stupid fast.
Oh no! See, those were actually not real Tusken Raiders. Those were people dressed up as Tusken Raiders that the people that run the race paid to do that because it makes it more exciting for the audience.
I love that all of us have called them Tusken Raiders and not by their derogatory names.
Sand people. Is there a named Tusken Raider in any of the series or anything?
In the Book of Boba Fett, I think there are.
Yeah,
and there might be some in the comics, but
in the book, in the novelization of this, I believe. No, it was comics. You're right. It was a comic book, I think, where it had it. 'Cause I almost am positive that there was. Was it not Tales of Jabba's Palace? There were.
I haven't read that novel, so I don't know.
I haven't read it in like 15 years, but for some reason I thought there was a actual Tusken Raider character that had a name.
Okay, there might be.
Could be wrong.
Honestly, might be.
Well, I need it. So I specifically need it to be canon in the mainstream existence because we have never gotten a Tusken Raider unit for any game, like Star Wars miniature game. So Shatterpoint only deals with named characters and then a bunch of jabronis. So for them to have a commander, you have to have the named character. So if there's a named character Tusken, we could finally get Tusken Raiders in like a miniature game, and that would be rad.
Go look at the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, I'd have to go rewatch the Book of Boba Fett because those first 3 episodes, he's on a Tusken Raider camp.
Yeah.
Okay. So, interesting. All right.
Don't do that to yourself, man. Don't go rewatch Boba Fett.
Yeah, make Chuck.
I think I watched the first episode and I tapped out. I was just like, I fucking hate it.
I wish I would have been that smart.
I was excited for it until the episodes of Mando. So
I got excited at the very end when he rode a Rancor. That was pretty badass.
Boba Fett is one of the special effects in this movie. They put him next to Jabba
in that scene, the Jabba scene.
Mm-hmm.
That whole scene was cut out from the original. That's.
And originally, Jabba was supposed to be a person.
A guy.
Yeah, he was a big fat dude. I saw it without the special effect. It's just some
with a furry coat and
with a big old coat.
Yeah, which is why when Han walks away, he says,
"Walk behind."
No. I'm talking about when he walks into the ship and he says, "Hey, that was pretty human of you," or whatever. Or, no, you're a good human.
You're a great human. You're a great human being. Is what he said. Yeah. And I love that they left that in there though, because it's kind of like him being like a dick to.
Yeah.
So if you
which really fits his character.
If you look in the background of that scene,
Boba.
Greedo's there twice.
Yeah,
which is hilarious. Greedo is there twice, and I thought I was being a little racist.
Those were actually posters.
Oh, cool. Every Greedo looks the same. Like every Greedo race looks the same. Yeah. It's the same exact outfit, and they clearly spliced it. Like they mirrored it because they move and shift at the same time when they're walking away. So it was like they just duplicated the special effect over again. But it's absolutely Greedo, which is hilarious. There's Boba Fett, who is not scaled appropriately and looks like he was like plastered over, kind of like a poster, like Ron said. But the if you look in the background for like one clip, like one scene part, the original guy who was supposed to be Jabba the Hutt is in the background. Because I very distinctly remember that he was fat with like a wool vest, and he's there in the background for like a second, as just like one of Jabba's guys. I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah, because we technically don't get a canonical appearance. The first canonical appearance of Boba Fett is the holiday special.
Mm-hmm. Writing what was supposed to be a mythosaur.
Yeah. And then obviously we get him in official movie wise in Empire Strikes Back.
Have we talked?
Wearing Adidas, which always just makes me laugh. He has Adidas on.
We haven't talked about this. Is our introduction to the greatest Star Wars character and group in all of Star Wars canon is Figrin Dan and the Modal Nodes. I mean, the introduction of jizz music.
Yep.
I love it. Like
sometimes I play it on my phone and I keep it in my pocket so I have jizz in my pants.
Exactly. I feel like this is exactly like when people sometimes I wonder how George Lucas stumbled into creating a universe that has lived on this long, because that was literally the way he created things was, well, it sounds like jazz, so we'll call it jizz. What are we doing?
And he also
George?
like,
what are we doing?
Back in '77, this was gonna be. I mean, he did make the movie at the very end with potential for a sequel with Vader flying off.
Yes,
but he intended for this movie just to be by itself.
He thought it was going to flop. He thought this movie was going to be awful.
Everybody thought it was going to be bad. Fox even was like, "Yeah, we're not really going to back this movie as much as we want."
Yeah,
but they obviously did, and then that kind of paid off for them. But no, like I think Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher, I think were the only ones that were like, "No, this movie's going to be good."
Mm-hmm. It was Steven Spielberg too, because when George Lucas showed
Spielberg
a bunch of his friends, Coppola was there. He showed it to a bunch of his director friends, and Steven Spielberg was the only one who said, "This is going to do really well." But everyone else was like, "Oh no, dude, this movie's going to blow. Like, it's not going to do good at all."
And again, like I've said this numerous times, you could not make this movie today. This movie would flop hard.
They've tried. Like, I feel like, what is it? Like the Rebel Moon movies? Like, like
don't talk about that with Joey. It's a sore spot for him. His baby boy made those movies. Okay.
I feel like you brought that up purposely.
I did bring that up purposely. And all fairness,
just like to point out it wasn't me. That's all. Thank you very much.
Anyway.
Yep.
I did just listen to Resident Evil, and I think they were giving you crap about it in that episode.
Yeah, look, they've been giving me crap about it ever since the movie came out. So
yeah,
I'm happy when they go a week without saying something about it.
If you head over to patreon.com/professionalcasual and hit that 301 tier that directly supports the show, you can hear Ron and I shit on Joey for 12 straight minutes about Rebel Moon Part 1.
About that, I don't know if Tim actually ever put that up.
Oh, I'll ask him.
I haven't seen it, and I'm a patron, and I haven't seen it.
Very specifically, Tim, what the fuck?
I've already erased it, so hopefully
you have to make sure you're at the 301 tier to hear it.
I am. I made sure.
Oh, okay.
Because I wanted to go in
your pocket. Whoa, wait! Did you sign up for the full? Did you sign up for the full year?
Oh no, because I'm not getting the shirt. I know. I did. I can't. First off, I don't want you guys to have to waste that money on me.
Oh, it's Chuck wasting the money. He's the one that said it.
Yeah, it's me. I'm doing it. You're just wasting my money. It's fine.
Well, in that case.
God damn it. All right.
Okay, I have a story for you guys about a Star Wars story about this a little bit. So there's first off, Mark Hamill's acting is rough in most of this movie.
This is early Mark Hamill, so
yeah,
this is his first appearance in anything, isn't it?
I don't think it is. I think he was on some TV show or something.
Hold on. He was on something before this, but anyway, I forget what year it was, but they were doing like a 30th
77 probably.
Not bad.
Yeah. They were doing the 30th or 35th anniversary screening of Return of the Jedi in the Egyptian theater in Hollywood, which is just down the street from the Chinese theater. When you don't have anything big enough for the Chinese theater, you go to the Egyptian theater. So I bought some tickets. I went to this screening. I went with a coworker of mine who was a way bigger Star Wars fan than I was, because he like makes movies and stuff too. So he knows like all about like the people on the crew and crap like that I didn't really know. So we watch the movie, we get to the end, there's like a Q&A thing, but we don't know who the Q&A is with. But before we do it, they're like, hey, we're going to do a little bit of a game here. We're going to have 5 people come up and you're going to do your best Luke Skywalker impression. So people get up and they're kind of saying, they're like, I'm Luke Skywalker, I'm here to save you, all those things, doing their best impressions.
Then here to rescue you.
Here to rescue, whatever. So then it gets to the end and they're like, we're clapping for who wins. And finally like, wait, we have one more contestant to come in. And then walking right by me in the thing is Mark Hamill. And he goes, but I want to go to Tosche Station to get some power converters. And he's totally like making fun of himself. And then it was Mark Hamill was like the special guest that none of us knew was going to be there. That was the greatest thing ever.
That's awesome.
Anytime I hear that
is awesome.
Now, it just makes me think of him being like, yeah, I sucked in that movie. Like he legitimately is like, I was awful in that movie. So good on you, Mark Hamill.
But so I did just look it up. he had a bunch of TV roles. He started acting in 63. He was in General Hospital. I don't know for how long, but his first like TV guest spot was in 70, and then literally just like guest spots on TV shows, one-off episodes here or there. It looks like he had a couple TV movies, and his first movie was Wizards. Right.
That old classic.
Yeah, that came out in 77 as well. And then obviously the one that actually hit for him was this one. So I don't know what the hell was. Let me click on Wizards here.
Is that like a cartoon?
Peace and Magic. Yeah, he did the voice.
It's the same ones that did Lord of the Rings, isn't it?
It also kind of looks like the same ones that may have done Heavy Metal.
You mean the
Nope, that's Lord of the Rings. That's Lord of the Rings.
The scariest animated movies ever, Lord of the Rings.
Very 70s animation. Let's
it
put
is
it that
so
way.
70s, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So, speaking of more things that retconned out of oblivion here, the fact that Obi-Wan refers to Darth Vader as a young Jedi named Darth Vader, and later finding out that only Sith go by Darth.
So they did retcon that in Obi-Wan Kenobi finally.
I guess.
But that also took 40 years.
So
yeah.
Okay, maiming Anakin on Mustafar turned Obi-Wan into a sadist because every time somebody gets hurt around him in this movie, he just like has the biggest grin on his face every fucking time. He's just like when Luke gets zapped by the little training droid, he's just like and I think he got a little taste of it and it was just a little too much for him.
Maybe.
When Luke gets hit with the Tusken Raiders, he's laughing the whole time. You know, like either that or he's just on senile.
I don't think that's laughing. I think that he was going. Ooh.
He was doing the crate dragon sounds. So
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Is this the first and only time that we see a lightsaber limb come off with blood on it?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering about that too. Like, why did he not have it up to like full heat? Was it only like at partial, so it didn't quite cauterize it?
Does the Wampa also have blood on his arm?
I don't think the Wampa has arm. We'll see in the next movie.
Okay,
but I'm pretty sure it didn't have blood on there.
I don't think it did either.
Because once we get to Empire, it's obviously a different director, different team. They had a better understanding of what they were doing, and so they kind of, I'm not gonna say streamlined stuff, but they improved on things.
They actually had a show Bible, probably.
It started obviously.
So about that particular scene, of course, he famously says, I don't like, or he doesn't like you, and I don't like you either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like several scenes before that, C-3PO literally says the same thing to R2-D2. Like they reuse the exact thing. They're talking about
when he's I don't like you either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
he's like, I just couldn't. I don't ever remember that, and that like broke my brain for a little bit. I was like, "Wait a minute, that's not where that line comes from." And then it comes up again. I was like, "They just reuse it."
Lazy writing.
Yeah,
lazy writing.
Not on subject at all. But speaking of being lazy, Simon noticed that every time they didn't want to have to deal with the droids, they always had some reason why they couldn't be there. Like very specifically, he's like, anytime they didn't want to put the droids in the scene, they were just like, "Oh, you can't come into the bar," or
you have to stay back here in the control room.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the hell do they mean? They don't serve their droids. They're not drinking anyway.
Maybe they didn't have oil at the bar. I don't know. Like, maybe they they'll binge some antifreeze and it gives them a little bit of a buzz. Who knows?
Maybe they're afraid that they were going to attack his still, and
maybe it's not even the fact that it's the droids. Maybe when he says we don't serve your kind here, it's loiterers, people who aren't buying anything. Maybe that's
that could be it.
Yeah, but Obi-Wan didn't buy anything.
Obi-Wan bought something.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he flipped him a coin and said sorry for the mess.
That's fair.
The only other like weird thing that like kind of broke my brain for a second was when Luke Skywalker goes in to save Leia. He goes, something, Ben Kenobi's here. And she jumps up.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you. I'm with Ben Kenobi.
Yeah, and then she jumps up and says, Ben Kenobi's here? But she's referred to him as Obi-Wan the entire time.
True.
But so again, maybe Kenobis
are out there. Like,
or maybe that was her being sarcastic. Like, I don't know who the fuck is Ben Kenobi, but she was trying to be excited. Like he was excited.
Ran out the door. So.
She was free. She was getting the fuck out of there.
I view it as this: is that Leia is the smartest one of this whole bunch.
I mean, that's true.
2 and 2 together.
Incorrect. She is the most dangerous one of the entire bunch.
Also true.
I'd like to point out the really genius idea that she screams at Han and Luke about going down the garbage chute was her fucking idea.
It got him out of the situation.
But then she starts yelling at him because they're getting crushed, and she's just like a typical woman. Can never be happy with
what her problem was that they didn't plan out a good escape. Their escape plan was come and get her and then hope that something works out. And then she had to take the fucking reins. Then she had to take the fucking reins and be like, look, you dumbasses, this is what we're going to do. And then they're like, oh, sure. And then, she shoves the flyboy down the poop chute and
she decides to do it. I don't really understand why they couldn't just keep going down the other way.
There's no escape.
The other way. Ripio said there was only one because they knew they were there.
They were in a jail cell. There's no other exit to a jail cell. Like there's one entrance and exit to a cell block. That's it.
I find that hard to believe, particularly in this setting of the Death Star, because there are just walks and ramps that literally just go around in circles.
But you got to remember, though, Darth Vader was there throughout the building of this thing, right? And how many times?
Krennic was the one that was overseeing it all.
True, but how many times has he escaped from someplace? So he was probably like, no, that's not going to work. We need to do this and this and this.
That's a good point.
All right. Anyway, so then they go down the fucking garbage chute. Terrible idea. But I did enjoy that they were just like, we just need to turn on the garbage. Which, when you look at the actual garbage in there, what is that from? What are
I'm assuming
throwing out?
Why is there water in there? Why not drain that?
Well, also
because that mafia lives there.
Well, where the hell did the water come from?
Yeah, where's the water coming from?
How is this brand new, just now working space station already leaking that much water to accumulate?
The working part is the laser. Was been working for a while.
This is the thing. I don't think that was a garbage chute. I think that's where all the toilets dump into.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, but that's just a nice way of saying a garbage chute.
Like, what do you mean toilets? Don't they just have the 3 seashells?
No, that's the Earth's future.
No, this was
we're not on Earth.
Yeah,
sponsored by Taco Bell.
Yeah, but this was this was a galaxy far, far away, in long ago. So actually, isn't it actually this is in the past in comparison to where we are at?
Technically,
so they haven't even had 3 seashells yet.
No,
and yet there's that advanced
seashell.
I would argue nobody wipes. I think everybody just lets it crust in the Star Wars universe.
Or perhaps they just have bidets.
I was going to say, I don't think anyone actually uses the restroom in the Star Wars universe.
That's true. They've actually figured out how to never have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, they just.
So I've got 2 questions. First one is, why did they have to fly down the trench like they did? Yeah, we saw that. We all saw the darkness there, Chuck.
Yeah, your lights just.
We have rolling blackouts because the heat's so bad here. So
lovely. Why did they have to fly literally the entire length of the trench to get to the end?
Because there were more guns on the top than there were in the trench. It was safer for them to fly through the trench than it was to fly over the top of the Death Star, because the turrets that they have, there were more turrets on the outside than there were down in the trench.
Okay,
I'll accept that.
That's a good answer. Second one, where did the shots that Vader shot at Luke go? So right there before Han comes in.
Yes.
Vader has got a lock on him. He had a lock on him earlier and ended up shooting R2, which I was debating putting that down on the kill count because Luke does say, I've lost R2, but they do get him back by the end. So whatever.
Which is why you should not count droids and kill counts.
No, I do. I count them. But no, so he has a lock on Luke. He fires. Then we see Han blow up the one TIE fighter, and those shots go nowhere. I've read novelization. I've watched this movie. I've listened to the audio version. Like there was audio drama back in like 79 that came out, which is actually really, really good. No explanation where the shots went.
He just missed.
The Force absorbed them.
Nope.
Did the X-Wing have the deflector shields? Maybe it hit just the
because
shield.
he shot R2 like not even a minute before.
But maybe then that's when he put the deflector shields on behind him.
But he was telling R2 to do all that, and R2 was gone.
Yeah, but maybe then he decided to actually do the work himself. And yeah.
So what happened was, as soon as like he blows up when Luke looks over his shoulder, maybe he just jerked to the side and they just kind of.
I don't know.
His shoulder.
I'm just saying.
That's a fair point.
Luke Skywalker should be dead.
I don't know.
Also, the rebellion should have like been destroyed in the very beginning when the escape pod flew out and they didn't shoot it down. That's just a that Empire employee being very lazy.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. He got choked out afterwards.
It's like the joke in Family Guy where they're like, "What are we saving lasers?"
Yeah, this movie is just one lucky coincidence after another. Like that's what this entire movie is.
There are no coincidences. It is the Force.
Which reminds me, Chuck, you had said something in the group chat earlier about how this was all one kill or something.
Yeah. Just to make you mad, this entire movie is one kill.
Yeah. How do you explain that?
Oh, because it's the entire plan, which develops all the lasers into one long, drawn out, one bouncing off shot. Therefore, it is actually only one kill.
Man, I was really hoping he was actually going to have a good, convincing argument.
No, I just wanted to be. No, I was just being stupid. Because I knew Joey was going to say it was like 3 trillion or something like that, and I'd just be like, no, this whole movie is just one kill.
I'll just give you a hint. It's less than Batman.
You know what that is? Oh, it's a shocker.
I mean, if I actually counted every single death, it'd be in the millions because Obi-Wan even says when Alderaan gets blown up, a million voices just cried out and then were quieted. But you can't do that.
He says it's like he says it's like a million voices because they didn't have time to cry out, okay? Yeah, that planet was gone before they knew what the fuck was going on.
Why exactly does Leia like George Bush 9/11 Alderaan here for like a minute? Like she has to know that they're gonna blow up the planet anyway, and she's like hesitant, and also then lies to him, and then they blow up the planet, and she's like shocked by this.
And she also condemns a whole other planet. She's like, yeah, don't blow up my planet, but Dantooine, go kill Dantooine.
Yeah, but they did. Yeah. Dantooine didn't get killed off. They went to the rebel base that was there, and they found remnants. They didn't destroy Dantooine, although I'd like to point out, probably should have.
Yeah, I don't understand why they didn't. Clearly, they are trigger happy with this like fucking gun.
They wanted to blow up
Scarif, Jeddah, Alderaan.
Yeah, they blew up Alderaan because it was close enough for it to make an example of everybody. So they're like, we blew up this planet. It's just like, when you have a dictator that, shoots the leader of the rebels right in front of everybody, because that teaches them that, hey, don't fuck with us because I'm just going to, kill you and all of your friends and loved ones and the people you don't like and your dog and your cat and your bird, But Dantooine, I assume, was around Tatooine and Tatooine and between Tatooine. And so it's all the way on the outskirts, so they weren't going to ever hear about that planet blowing up.
I mean, that wasn't the whole reason they chose Alderaan, because Dantooine was too remote. So, yeah.
But also, so Alderaan gets blown up, right? Obi-Wan dies.
I was gonna bring this up. Yep.
Luke is just like this big whiny bitch, and Leia's like, "Oh, hey, buddy, it's okay. Let me just pat your little stupid head right there. I know it's really sad that one old man died. I really wish I had something to compare that to right now, but..."
Family Guy said it best when this scene came up, and I don't remember like the exact words, but it's Lois Leia being like, "Oh yeah, the guy you just met 5 hours ago. It's not like my whole planet blew up or anything. It's whatever."
Yeah, there is a bit of the. It's a bit of like, take care of me, mom.
Like
in that scene.
I mean, Luke is definitely the kind that would have a mommy dommy girlfriend. So
yeah,
but like she also doesn't seem that upset about like she brought that on herself. She
doesn't
Leia's not a terribly good person for being this like political diplomat.
She got that part from Vader, okay?
I guess, yeah. Jesus,
like Leia has what every 70s writer wanted their women to have: moxie. That's what she had.
Oh, I thought you were going to say intercourse with her brother.
Well,
they never actually had intercourse.
we know of.
I'm sure it's in the novelization. If you
there's definitely a comic about it.
Anyway,
there's definitely movies about it. I've
seen those movies.
Yeah.
Officially licensed, I believe.
Would it make you feel better if we went back to pretending I was your sister again, or?
Oh Jesus! Anyway, you guys got anything else?
Yeah, I got one last thing.
Okay.
The medal ceremony is a super weird thing to me because they're like, hey, even though there's like 100 million other people that helped out in defeating this thing, just Luke
they all died.
No, we know for a fact that Wedge made it back, and one other Y-wing guy made it back.
Yeah.
So why didn't
very specifically, they got those medals for saving Leia, not for anything else.
Oh. Okay, whatever.
But why didn't Chewie get one?
Because he's a dog.
I mean, he finally does get his medal in what? Rise, but
I think, yeah.
Anyway,
my question is, why are there 55 fucking cameras in the detention cell in that one little room?
I don't think those are all cameras. I think they were
sensors and
blasters, or
sure, but regardless, like they spent 10 minutes just shooting those things.
That scene was so long.
Well, I think it was the same exact scene over and over again, just Han pointing the blasters in different directions.
Yeah, it was too much. It was too much.
Then I've also got. I was wrong, by the way. I don't know what the little interrogation droids are called. The VT-16s are perimeter droids because the two stormtroopers they're walking through where Obi-Wan's at. He's like, "Oh man, have you seen the new VT-16s?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, those are wicked," or whatever. I had to look them up to know what they are, and they're perimeter droids that are shaped like spiders, like they're creepy little fucking looking things.
Oh yeah, those droids, the one like at Jabba's palace with the brain in it.
I think so. Yeah, those things are wicked. All right.
Is any of that covered in the cartoon droids? Do they talk about the other droids and droids?
I've never watched droids, so
I don't even know what droids is.
It's on it was a kids cartoon show from like the 80s or 90s that followed specifically C-3PO and R2-D2. It's on Disney Plus if you want to watch.
But is it any good? That's the.
It's like Willow levels, okay.
Oh, they'll love it.
Wow.
There.
Wow.
I got two trivia things real quick before we end this movie. One is that the Crate Dragon skeleton, as of 2003, was still out in the Tunisian desert. They just left it out there. That's kind of cool. And then Robert Englund auditioned for Luke Skywalker. Freddy Krueger himself could have been Luke Skywalker. How weird would that have been in that alternate universe?
I don't. So the rest of that trivia, I'm not 100% sure of how true that is. So it said that England didn't get the part, obviously. Then he went back to his apartment and he told his roommate that he should try out for it. And his roommate was Mark Hamill. I'm not saying that couldn't be true.
Yeah, but it seems a little
revisionist
history a bit.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Well, alrighty then.
Kill count.
We've got a total of 73.
Oh.
And we have 2 lost limbs. C-3PO lost his limb, his arm, and then Pondo Baba, there in the cantina, lost his arm.
Do we know?
No, it's Pondo Baba.
No, he had 40 teeth.
I had to look it up. Anyway.
Yeah, it's Pondo Baba. I had an action figure of him. Do we know how C-3PO gets the dent in his head?
That's where the Tusken Raider hits him, isn't it?
I thought that was. I thought I noticed it before that.
It could have been when the Jawas like stole him.
Okay, maybe. I just realized that he has a dent like in his head because like I also didn't remember him having a different colored leg this early.
Mm-hmm.
He has the silver leg.
It's silver leg.
I never growing up watching it, never realized that until I don't know, about like a decade or two ago, and I'm like, wait, what the heck? He's got a silver leg. So
the dent came from when he was still owned by Padme and Anakin, because Anakin would just get pissed off and force throw things at him.
Wow.
All right.
But he could fix
I had never noticed the leg change until I had an action figure from the Return of the Jedi re-release series when he's on the throne because he's a god to the Ewoks. That was the first time I ever realized that his leg was a different color. But they retcon that in the prequels, right? That's when he loses his leg and they give him a new one?
No, they retcon it in an actual comic about how he gets a silver leg.
Well, that was his red leg.
Oh, you're right. That's his red leg. That's right.
Because he has a red leg in the sequel trilogies.
You know, there's some obscure something out there that tells you why he's got a silver leg.
So, alrighty. Jordan, who's got a bad feeling?
Oh man, two people. Luke has a very bad feeling about this when they see the Death Star, and Han just has a regular bad feeling about getting squished in a trash compactor.
Mm-hmm.
Which, real quick, the depths of that trash compactor does not make any sense.
No, God, no.
Because when they're standing in it, it's like barely up to their knees. Yet Luke is just getting pulled way under. That would mean that they're literally stepping on this giant monster the entire time.
Because what I think it is there's probably like grates, and there's just holes in the grates where Luke was getting pulled through like an idiot.
Or what I always thought is there was like more of a deeper area back around somewhere, and the thing pulled him back to like the deeper area.
Maybe Luke is like Little John and he can't swim.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just
Little
saying,
John the rapper?
No, like Robin Hood Men in Tights.
All I kept going to was
like, swim.
Why can Little John not swim?
Well, okay, so in the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves, Kevin Costner.
Whatever, we got it. Ron, what's your bingo?
All right, dead parents. Because I consider his aunt and uncle his
they were kind of his parents. Yeah.
A dying mentor, government interference.
You could also say Bail Organa died, so that counts.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fair. Comic logic, government interference, a Scooby-Doo chase scene where they're going through the Death Star. Animal cruelty, inability to control powers, unexplainable science, hero kills, misogyny.
You forgot the Wilhelm scream.
Oh, fuck, I did.
Yeah, it's in there.
What is that when R2-D2 got blown up?
No, it was one of the
stormtrooper fell down.
Stormtrooper falling down. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Do you realize? Do you realize in the Disney version of this, they add a donk sound when the stormtrooper hits his head on the freaking door?
Good. Okay, I love they did that. Just lean into it. Lean into it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what he did. That's why he made the donk sound.
That was the fourth take. Like they shot that thing like numerous times, and that's the one they used.
Why didn't they just get somebody shorter to do the fucking?
They all duck going out. That was kind of
no idea.
Duck. I always forget that.
Duck, dodge. Wait. Whatever. Anyway, sorry.
Dodge, duck, dick, dive, and dodge.
There you go. What's our
Spawn cape?
Oh, Spawn cape. Listen, it still doesn't look. The stuff that they added still doesn't look good. This is kind of quintessentially why this was made. I'm gonna say 1 out of 5 Spawn capes. Which would mean
if we were to have watched the original version, I think it would have been a lot better. But
I think if we watched the original version, it would look better, but also everything would look really empty. Like my assumption is the reason why they added all this special effects in was to fill in all the empty spots that they had.
Kind of, sort of. So the one,
no, they just had the technology and they didn't have the will not to use it.
Kind of that, honestly, that the one scene in particular where they filled in was when Han is running after the stormtrooper and he comes across out around the corner and there's a whole room of stormtroopers in this. In the original, there's like 4,
8,
something like that.
Yeah,
it's not
still more than 2, so that works.
But like the thing I don't understand is Han screams at them. They all start running, and Han is just blasting his way as he's chasing him. What? These are supposed to be the most like the best troopers ever, or whatever, and they're afraid of one crazy guy who they
but very realistically,
him.
Very realistically, though, okay, you got to think about this. You run into somebody in the middle of your stronghold, okay? He sees you and does not freak out and starts chasing you, okay? You know there are people like Darth Vader and the Emperor, right?
It's true.
Like, this dude obviously is on something or he has some powers, and you don't know what the fuck they are. So, yeah, you're going to run, especially when you think about how piddly shit the Emperor pays you. Like, you're not willing to die for this thing.
That's true. All righty. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Jordan, what do you give a score for this?
8 even. 8.0.
Okay.
Damn it, Jordan. I know you haven't been here for this, but we're trying to keep from giving flat scores because then they all pile up.
Hold on. He's only here for Star Wars.
Yeah. I guess that's true.
He's fine. We're for all of them. We've got to get the Death
All right, fine. Chuck, what's your score?
All right, is this a Star Wars movie? Yes, it's essentially the Star Wars movie.
Star Wars movie.
Yeah. This is the movie that made me like Star Wars, but it didn't make me fall in love with Star Wars yet. I love Han Solo. I think Harrison Ford does a great job. All the ad-libbing that he does in this, and it gets better as we go. He just is a cool fucking character. He's everything I wanted to be. 8.18. Nah, 7.98.
Nope, it's too late. I already wrote down 8.18.
7.98.
7.98?
7.98. I can't score it higher than an 8.
Okay. Ron?
I still have a lot of issues with the movie.
Okay, so very realistically, this may be my favorite Star Wars movie. It's the first one I ever saw, obviously, because like that's just how it works. But like, it was really what I wanted in a space magic movie. Mm-hmm. Like, there's fights, there's chases, there's a hot chick with no bra on. Like, I mean, what more could a little kid ask for, right? I know. I mean, obviously there are problems with it, especially after the prequels came out and everything in this movie got retconned down to shit. But I still like this as I still like this as the canonical version, and everything else is just shit shows. So I'm going to give this an 8.75.
Nice.
What about you, Joey?
This is up there. This is my top 5 for Star Wars movies. It is essentially, I mean, it started it all. Like I said, this movie would not be made today. It could not be made today. However,
that's true because Princess Leia is dead now.
Well, I mean, they would have other people. I mean, literally the only 2 alive are Luke Skywalker and Han Solo. Like, everybody else is dead. Oh, Anthony Daniels. Sorry.
And I think like the important thing, Joey, is like,
did James Earl Jones die?
No, he's still alive.
James Earl Jones is still alive, isn't he?
Fair. Yeah, but he was just a voice.
True.
But the point is,
he is the voice.
He is the voice.
They did try to remake this. Like, they did try to recapture the magic, and it did not work. Like, they tried to do it in 7, 8, 9.
Force Awakens did kinda, but people complained that we want something new, and then they got something new with Last Jedi, and then they complained that they wanted something old. It's like, what the? We'll get there, and I've got a lot. Well,
I mean, yeah, Joey, fucking Star Wars fans aren't happy with the thing that they say they like.
Dude, don't even get me started on Star Wars fans right now. They're a bunch of fucking stupid idiots with the whole everything going on with the Acolyte. But that's a whole.
Don't spoil anything. I haven't watched it yet.
I'm not spoiling anything.
Just I will punch you through your headset.
Conservative fans are fucking morons. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Joey, what's your score? You got a daughter to pick up.
I know. I gotta get her. I love this movie. Like I said, top 5 for me. It's actually my number 4. It's 8.31. Nope, that's what the actual full score is. It's 8.51 is what I gave it. and we've got the combined score of 8.31. This movie, it's essential. It's the essential Star Wars movie. It's the first Star Wars movie. This is the one that if you show people Star Wars, this is the one you usually start with. Mm-hmm. Almost always you start with, especially if they've never seen it before. And then you go back and start with one. Mm-hmm. So there's that. I love this movie. I'm always going to love this movie. It's the whole reason we're doing all of this. So with that score, 8.31, that gives us our new number 3.
Nice.
Knock Dick out?
Knock Dick Tracy to number 4. Yep.
Star Wars always knocking Dick around. It's messed up.
It happens.
Leia could knock my dick around. She was really hot in this. I realized that even at 8 years old, I think this was like my first sexual awakening. Like between her,
I mean, it wasn't my first one, but like Leia's definitely up there.
Well, I was 8, Ron, like when I first saw this.
I was probably that age too, dude. Actually, I might have been younger, but
yeah, well, I was a sheltered child, Ron. I didn't know what I was feeling. I just knew that when I became 35, almost 36, I was going to want some type of threesome with Han and Leia. And now that makes a lot more sense. You know what I mean? Like, there I am.
Okay. But all right, everybody.
Jordan.
This is
Jordan. Where can they find you?
Hey, just don't. Where can they find you, Ron?
There you go.
Chuck, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok, Kicked Out of the Hood, No Ian Kicked. You can find me on Kicked Out of the Hobby, No Ian Kicked for my miniature painting hobby stuff. I'm gearing up, this is releasing in July, so I will be in the midst of doing a collaboration to do some pirate stuff. Oh, yeah. So
happy belated birthday, buddy.
Oh, hey, thanks, kinda. Thanks.
Coming out after your birthday.
Oh, I was like, Chuck's birthday's not yet.
Yeah, we got a little bit of time, but that's okay. Yeah. But at time of release, thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. I'll be 30. I'll be 36. I'll feel very old.
Oh, what a baby.
Yeah. To be fair, my mom has been drawing a lot of parallels of her life to my life, and how like 36 was
not a good sign.
No, it's not. About how 36 was the year that everything changed for her, and if I have to hear this for like another month, I'm going to blow my brains out.
You'll hear it for an entire year. Anyway.
That's true. And you can go hear me over on Elite 8 Showdown, because hopefully it's going to drop soon. And walk through the multiverse. We heard
that?
Listen, I yelled at him yesterday about it, and he was like, yeah, we actually do have to finish that. I do feel bad. And you can hear me do at least the first 3 episodes, if not more, on Walk Through the Multiverse with the boys.
Yeah. So, you came on that episode with me. That was great. I really enjoyed that episode. That was a really good episode.
Yeah, it was really weird being fun and positive and not having to scream at Ron for 20 minutes. It was really weird. I didn't know what was going on. I was like,
well, good thing for you, I haven't watched all the episodes of The Boys yet, so I couldn't be on.
That's fair.
Anyways, so you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Good at This Game.
Find Ron either.
That's fair. You can also find my art on Instagram at Good Art This Game. Joey, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter. Nope, I don't like Twitter. Instagram and Threads at Comic Book Rundown. You can email us comicbookrundown@gmail.com. Rate and review us on your podcast app of choice. If you do, we'll read on an upcoming episode. Our song was done by Cam, and we've got merch over on Redbubble and TeePublic. Our next movie, I moved this one up because the remake is coming out in a few weeks after the episode drops. We're going to be watching The Crow from 1994.
Oh shit! This is actually something I've read.
I've never actually.
Chuck Reed?
I've never seen.
What?
Actually, yeah.
Wow.
This will be fun.
I've only seen this movie one time, and I have paid attention, and I had some hot takes. So
okay, well, we'll get to that next week. All right, everybody. Catch y'all later.
Bye.
Bye. A long time ago, and I got so far away, and Scooby-Doo.
It's my favorite part.